1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madhavela and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. A new Gazette notification has been issued, making it mandatory for professionals from 14 categories to be registered with the Department of Inland Revenue. The UNP chairman says that President Ranil Wickremesinghe's leadership is a great sense of security for the whole of Asia. Lanka Sathusa has reduced the price of 6 essential food items. The central bank has decided to reduce the standing deposit facility rate and the standing lending facility rate. The government refutes allegations made by various parties about the lack of funding towards the Anuradhapura Poson program. Foreign news, U.S. representatives votes yes on debt ceiling deal. In sports, Afghanistan's bowling ace Rashid Khan forces out of the first 2 games against Sri Lanka. A new Gazette making it mandatory for professionals from 14 categories to be registered with the Department of Inland Revenue. Doctors, engineers, chartered accountants, architects, and attorneys at law of the Supreme Court, among others, are on the list of selected professionals. The list includes individuals who are in possession of vehicles registered other than 3-wheelers, motorcycles, and hand tractors in Motor Traffic Department. In addition, individuals who have purchased or acquired by virtue of deeds, transfer, or any immovable property in Sri Lanka on or after the 1st of April 2018, and individuals who have registered their businesses in divisional secretariats. Employees whose monthly contribution from both employee and employer to any provident fund is more than 20,000 are also required to register. Any individual who obtains approval for a building plan from a local authority also needs to register. Any other individual who receives payment of 100,000 rupees per month or 1.2 million for a 12-month period for providing any services in Sri Lanka are also need to register with the Department of Inland Revenue. The eligible professionals are required to register with the Department of Inland Revenue from today. The chairman of the United National Party, Vajra Abeyewardene, says that President Ranil Wickremesinghe was the only president to convey a Sri Lanka foreign policy after President J.R. Jayawardene in 1977. The chairman of the UNP says that it is indeed important that President Ranil Wickremesinghe is at the helm of Sri Lanka and his leadership is a great sense of security for the whole of Asia. The President's Media Division said the government rejects all allegations made by various parties about the lack of funding towards the Anuradhapura Poson program and clarified that 2 state ministries and the department have already allocated 28.8 million rupees. Accusations have been made by various parties claiming that the government will not contribute to the State Poson Festival in 2023, particularly the Poson program centered around the Mihintale sacred site. This information was gathered through multiple sources, including the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, Ministry of Public Administration, Home Affairs, Provincial Councils and Local Government, Ministry of Defence, Sri Lanka Police, Anuradhapura District Secretariat, Ministry of Water Supply and Estate Infrastructure Development, and Associated Newspapers of Ceylon Limited. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Lanka Sathusa has reduced the prices of 6 essential food items with effect from today. Accordingly, the prices of wheat flour, big onions, red lentils, white sugar, chickpeas and white nadu rice have been slashed. Accordingly, selling price of 1 kilogram of wheat flour will be 210 rupees. The price of wheat flour has been reduced by 15 rupees. The selling price of 1 kilogram of big onions is 115 rupees per 1 kilogram and it has been reduced by 14 rupees. The price of a kilogram of lentils will be 314 rupees from today and it has been reduced by 11 rupees. The selling price of a kilogram of white sugar will be 229 per 1 kilogram and it has been reduced by 10 rupees per kilo. And chickpeas will be 545 per kilogram and the price reduction is 5 rupees. Price of a kilogram of white nadu rice is 175 rupees. The Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka has decided to reduce the standing deposit facility rate and the standing lending facility rate of the Central Bank by 250 basis points to 13% and 14% respectively. The Central Bank says that the board arrived at this decision as its meeting held yesterday with a view to easing monetary conditions in line with the faster and expected slowing of inflation, gradual dissipation of inflationary pressure and further anchoring of inflation expectations. The commencing of such monetary easing is expected to provide an impetus for the economy to rebound from the historic contraction of activity witnessed in 2022 while easing pressures in the financial markets. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The President, in an extraordinary Gazette notification, has brought a number of institutions under the Ministry of Finance, Economic Stabilisation and National Policies. These institutions include Sri Lanka Telecom and its subsidiaries and allied institutions, Colombo Lotus Star Management Company Private Limited, North Sea Limited, Sri Lanka Triposha Company Limited, Galoe Plantations Private Company, National Salt Limited, Sri Lanka Cement Corporation, Paranthan Chemicals Limited, BCC Private Limited, State Engineering Corporation, Mahinda Rajapaksha National Tele Cinema Park, and Lanka General Trading Company Limited. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
On to Watchlight. The Railways Department says a rock slip on the railway track between Haliala and Uduvara railway stations. This has disrupted train services on the upcountry line. The Railways Department informed that the removal of earth is now being carried out and hopes to reopen the track soon. And that came to you in Watchlight. Now moving on to world news in the headlines. U.S. House of Representatives votes yes on debt ceiling deal. Every Canadian cigarette will soon carry a health warning. And Amazon staff protests, climate record and office return. The United States House of Representatives has voted to advance a bipartisan bill to raise the debt ceiling, which limits the amount of money the federal government can borrow. After calling for a recorded vote, the House passed the bill 314-117 in a late-night sitting yesterday. The vote comes as the government approaches a Monday deadline to lift the debt ceiling or default on its loans, a prospect expert warns could have devastating effect on the U.S. economy. The bill will now go to the Senate, where the Democrats have a slim majority. Canada will soon print warning labels directly on cigarettes in a world-first, country health agency announced. New packaging will feature a warning on each cigarette with phrases like "cigarettes cause cancer" and "poison in every puff." The regulation will come into effect on the 1st of August, Health Canada said. It is part of an effort to reduce tobacco use in Canada to less than 5% by 2035. In an announcement on Wednesday, Health Canada said the new regulations will make it virtually impossible to avoid health warnings on tobacco products. The health agency anticipates that by April 2025, retailers in Canada will only carry tobacco products that feature the new warning labels directly on the cigarettes. Products that will have labels on tipping paper include individual cigarettes, little cigars, tubes and other tobacco products, Health Canada said. The move follows a 75-day public consultation period that was launched last year. More than 1,000 staff at Amazon participated in a one-hour protest over the internet giant's climate record and its push to bring office staff back to office, according to organizers. The action was put together by staff advocacy groups. They said morale at the company was at all-time low due to short-sighted decisions by leaders. Amazon's disputed the number of participants while saying it respected workers' rights to express opinions. It said its security team counted closer to 300 employees taking part in the protest at the company's headquarters in Seattle, and it was not aware of any other physical walkouts. Prior to the event, organizers had said about 2,000 staff had pledged to take part, including about 900 in Seattle. And back to the headlines of the world news. U.S. House of Representatives vote yes on debt ceiling deal. Every Canadian cigarette will soon carry a health warning. And Amazon staff protest climate record and office return. And that ends World News.
Development News.
The Colombo Lotus Tower, a symbol of architectural splendor in Sri Lanka, celebrated a significant milestone as it welcomed its 15,000th foreign visitor. The Colombo Lotus Tower has become a must-visit destination for tourists and locals alike, offering breathtaking views and an immersive experience in Sri Lankan heritage. With a total visitor count of 861,894 to date, the Lotus Tower stands tall as a testament to the country's rich history and vibrant future. The Lotus Tower is committed to providing an unforgettable experience for all visitors. And that was development news. Now moving on to sports. Afghanistan's bowling ace Rashid Khan has sustained a low back injury which forces him out of the first two games against Sri Lanka. The team physio's report confirms the injury and states that he will remain under full medical observation and is expected to return for the final ODI on the 7th of June. Euro 2022 top scorer Beth Mead is not included in England's Women's World Cup squad, having not fully recovered from an anterior cruciate ligament injury. The Arsenal forward 27 has no number and was a major doubt. Tottenham striker Beth England, who has not been involved since last summer, is included, having scored 12 goals in her past 12 Women's Super League games. Chelsea centre Millie Bright also has been out with a knee injury since March, has made the 23-player squad. And that was Post News.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Air New Zealand is weighing passengers before they board international flights as part of a survey to determine average passenger weight. The weight will be anonymously recorded in a database but not to be visible to airline staff or other passengers, the firm said. Air New Zealand said knowing average passenger weight would improve fuel efficiency in the future. Participation in the survey is voluntary, the airline added. The airline previously weighed domestic passengers in New Zealand in 2021. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. The High Commissioner for Sri Lanka in Australia, Chitrangani Wageshwara, paid a courtesy call on the Minister of Home Affairs Australia, Claire O'Neill, on Tuesday at her office in the Federal Parliament. While appreciating the opportunity to meet the Minister, the High Commissioner thanked the people and the Government of Australia for their invaluable assistance to Sri Lanka to meet urgent food and healthcare needs. The two sides discussed the upcoming political consultations, which is scheduled to be held in Sri Lanka in mid-July this year. In connection with the recent immigration policy review by Australia, an arrangement for more employment opportunities for Sri Lanka, especially semi-skilled workers, was discussed. In terms of tourism, further relaxing the travel advisory on Sri Lanka was also brought to the attention of Minister O'Neill. And that was economic news.
Weather report.
The Met Department forecasts that showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamu and southern provinces. Fairly heavy showers, above 50 millimeters, are likely at some places in the Galle, Matra and Kalutara districts. Several spells of showers will occur in the north-western province. Showers or thunder showers will occur in the central, Ua and eastern provinces during the evening or night. And that was the weather report. And prior to concluding this news broadcast, the headlines once again. A new Gazette notification has been issued, making it mandatory for professionals from 14 categories to be registered with the Department of Inland Revenue. The UNP chairman says that President Ranil Wickremesinghe's leadership is a great sense of security for the whole of Asia. Lanka Sadasa has reduced the price of 6 essential food items. The central bank has decided to reduce the standing deposit facility rate and the standing lending facility rate. The government refutes allegations made by various parties about lack of funding towards the Anuradhapura Poson program. In foreign news, U.S. House of Representatives votes yes on debt ceiling deal. In sports, Afghanistan's bowling ace Rashid Khan has forced out of the first 2 games against Sri Lanka. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.